what is this called? Fly bridge.
Yeah, the fly bridge.
Captain.
Yeah, it's interesting that we start this whole idea of transitions from this place, because tonight we're going to talk about how do you keep your hearts connected in the middle of the transitions of life, because we know transitions are a reality. The Bible predicted it. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 says there's a time and a place for everything under the sun.
Time to be born, time to die, time to dance, time to, sow, time to weep. Just like everything, turn, there is a season.
Right. And we know transitions are real for you and they're real for us, because everybody goes through them. There's a number of things in life that bring transitions. The most common one, of course, is aging. Because, if you have...
bring that up.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is you get wiser as you go. But for instance, if you have babies, like, that's really exciting and it's fun and it's a lot of work, but it's just they're so precious. But then the babies grow up and eventually they get to a place where they have their own opinions and they have their own issues, and sometimes decisions they make completely interrupt your life and they throw you into a transition in life.
Right. As your kids age, you'll go through transitions with them as well. And then when they launch, empty nest, then that's a whole nother transition in itself.
About the time you get your kids all raised up, then your parents
need your help. Right. Some of you have overlap, not even an empty nest, no time for an empty nest. And so there's lots of reasons that you might be in transition. It could be happy things like a new house, a new job, a new baby. It could be sad things like the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, the loss of a dream, seeing your business fold, the loss of your health, loss of your parents' health. And so we just know that the world is filled with people in transition, because that's what fills our mailbox. Here at Lovewise. And so we just want to, we're going to give you 4 weeks. So the 7th, the 14th, the 21st and 28th, we'll be talking about tackling transitions from trials to triumph. Yay. And we're going to give you 4 T's, one each week, so that you have something to hang your heart on, to have hope. And today is touch your heart. One of the big ways, the most important ways to handle a transition well is to touch the heart of the person that you're transitioning with. And many of you are married, you have families, and there are people, you have friendships, there are people around you that love you. And oftentimes in transition, we are not our best self. We are not happy campers. And so we're going to give you 4 tips to help you touch the heart of the one that you love, even in a transition. So you can pull together and pull the same direction and grow closer in a transition rather than have the transition pull you apart. Years ago in Marriage in the Whirlwind, Bill had a quote that he said about transitions, that life is made and broken in those transitions of life. Touch the heart, we have to do things God's way. Right. And in Philippians 1:7, there is a verse. I'll let Bill share it.
It's a fascinating verse. Paul is writing to the church in Philippians, and he says to them, "It's right for me to feel this way about all of you because I have you in my heart.
I hold you in my heart."
And it's one of those great principles of life that when you hold the important people of your life in your heart, you view them differently. You tend to give them the benefit of the doubt. You give them lots of elbow room. You assume the best about them, and you find ways to work things out with them. And when you disconnect at the heart level, then you start to evaluate each other based on behavior. And the problem with that is that once you start evaluating people you're close to by their behavior, everybody falls short.
Because nobody can be good enough, long enough to make the other person happy. I mean, you have to hold that person in your heart.
And what typically happens during a transition is the change causes stress in your life. The stress causes cortisol to be released in your body. The cortisol causes your systems to not work as well as they used to. You tend to put on a little bit of weight because of it. Then you start to feel bad about yourself. And because you feel bad about yourself, you start to take it out on other people.
Not a good cycle.
And then all of your relationships start to
Suffer.
suffer in the midst of this transition that you can't control anyway. And so we wanted to start off talking about transitions, that what you want to guard primarily are the relationships that matter most to you, by keeping your hearts connected in the midst of circumstances that you may or may not like, or circumstances that you may or may not be able to control.
Like you might lose your house and you might lose that job, but don't lose the most important people in your life just because you're going through a transition.
Right. Or you may get that job.
Right.
And you may be blessed financially, which brings a lot more responsibility.
Success
which
brings
causes you to get
transition.
really busy, and often in the busyness you neglect the people that you care about the most. And so we want you to succeed in your transitions. We want them to work for you, and we want you to come out on the other side of these transitions closer to one another, not farther apart.